The pyramids at Giza, particularly the Great Pyramid of Khufu, have long captured the imagination of historians, engineers, and tourists alike. Constructed over 4,500 years ago, these massive structures continue to stand as monuments to the ingenuity and ambition of ancient Egypt. Their construction has been a topic of fascination, not just for their sheer size but for the methods used to build them in an era devoid of modern technology. Understanding how the pyramids were built involves exploring the meticulous design, the organization of a large and skilled workforce, the innovative construction methods employed, and the sourcing of massive quantities of stone and other materials from distant quarries. This video delves into the architectural genius behind the pyramids and the immense human and material resources that made their construction possible. The design and planning of the pyramids. The pyramid's design evolved from earlier tomb structures. But contrary to many now defunct theories, it was one design from start to finish. Before the monumental stone pyramids, Egyptian royalty was buried in flat-roofed structures with sloping sides. By the time of the Giza pyramids, around 2508 and to 2560 years before Christ, pyramid construction had been refined into a geometrically perfect form. Khufu's Great Pyramid, the largest of the Giza structures, was originally 146.6 meters or 481 feet tall. It consisted of approximately 2.3 million blocks of stone. The base of the pyramid covers an area of over 13 acres, with each side aligned closely to the cardinal directions, north, east, south and west. Its design reflects not only a desire for monumental grandeur, but also a profound knowledge of mathematics and astronomy. Ancient Egyptian architects planned the pyramids meticulously to ensure structural integrity and symbolic alignment with the stars. Particularly the unchanging North Star, whose constancy marked the center of the cosmos. The internal design of the pyramid was equally sophisticated. The pyramid features two ascending passages, false corridors, and chambers, with the king's and the queen's chambers situated in the heart of the structure. The king's chamber is dressed in finely cut pink Aswan granite, reflecting its connection with the king's solar rebirth. The queen's chamber is smaller and made of limestone, suggesting a lunar connection to the Osirian resurrection. The corbelled ceilings and massive stone blocks in the internal rooms prevented collapse from the immense weight of the pyramid above. The workforce. One of the enduring myths surrounding the pyramids is that they were built by enslaved people. Modern archaeology has debunked this idea. Evidence suggests that the labor force responsible for building the Giza pyramids consisted of well-organized, skilled workers, many of whom were part of a labor tax system, or were seasonal laborers. While some were permanent workers, many were farmers and villagers drafted during the agricultural off-season, particularly during the annual flooding of the Nile, when farmland was submerged. This labor force was divided into crews of approximately 2,000 workers, further subdivided into teams of 200. Each team was then split into smaller groups, each responsible for specific tasks, such as quarrying, transporting stones, or erecting scaffolding. These workers were not slaves but paid laborers, receiving rations of food, beer, and other essentials. The discovery of workers' villages near the pyramids, including barracks, bakeries, and breweries, supports the notion of a well-fed, organized workforce. Construction methods. Constructing the pyramids required immense precision and organization. There are several hypotheses regarding the methods used, but the most widely accepted involve a combination of ramps, levers, and human muscle. Quarrying and transporting the stones. The primary building material for the pyramids was limestone, which was quarried locally. Tura limestone, a finer quality stone, was used for the outer casing of the pyramids. Some of the blocks used for the internal chambers, such as the massive granite blocks in Khufu's burial chamber, were quarried from Aswan, located over 800 kilometers south of Giza. Transporting these massive stones, weighing between 2.5 and 80 tons, was an enormous challenge. Archaeologists believe that the stones were transported using sledges, which were pulled across the desert sands by human effort. Recent discoveries show that the workers poured water on the sand to reduce the friction, making it easier to move the sledges. Ramps. A key element in pyramid construction was ramps. Constructing ramps would have allowed workers to move stones up the growing structure, and several ramp theories have been proposed. However, so far, none have been conclusively proven. The most common theory involves using straight, inclined planks placed vertically up the side of the pyramid. However, this theory has been criticized due to the steepness of the ramps needed to reach the upper levels of construction. Another theory suggests using spiral ramps that encircled the pyramid as it was constructed. The spiral design would have allowed for continuous construction and seems distinctly possible given the pyramid builders' construction problems. However, this theory is difficult to prove because no remnants of such ramps have ever been discovered. And so the jury is still out when it comes to ramp theories. Precision and alignment. The level of precision achieved in the pyramid's construction is astounding, particularly given the tools available. The ancient Egyptians used simple but effective tools, such as plumb bobs, leveling instruments, and sighting rods, to ensure the pyramid's alignment with the cardinal directions and perfect symmetry. For example, the Great Pyramid's base is nearly a perfect square, with the difference in length between its sides being less than 20 centimeters, about 7.9 inches. Lifting the stones. One of the most significant challenges was lifting the massive stone blocks to great heights. Theories abound about how the Egyptians achieved this feat. One popular theory involves a system of levers. Workers could have placed wooden beams under the stone blocks, then incrementally lifted them by pivoting them and placing small blocks underneath until the stone reached the desired height. Another theory suggests that the workers used counterweights, with stones being hoisted into place, by balancing them with other stones on a system of pulleys or wooden sledges. Resources and materials. Stone. The pyramid's core was constructed using local limestone from quarries near Giza. Their outer casing stones, which gave the pyramids their smooth, white finish, came from Tura, a quarry on the eastern bank of the Nile, just south of Cairo. The granite used for the king's chamber in the Great Pyramid and some of the other interior elements of the pyramid was quarried at Aswan, some 800 miles away, and brought to the site by boat. A significant logistical achievement given the distance involved. Timber. Timber was not abundant in Egypt, so it had to be imported from Lebanon. The timber of choice was cedar, which was prized for its strength and resilience. This timber was crucial for constructing sledges, scaffolding, and other mechanical systems used in the building process. Copper tools. The Egyptians used copper chisels and saws to cut the limestone blocks. The copper was sourced from mines in the eastern desert and the Sinai Peninsula. This copper contained natural arsenic, which made it particularly hard. These copper tools were sharpened regularly, as limestone would quickly dull the cutting edges. Dolerite, a hard stone, was used to pound and shape the granite blocks. The social and religious significance of the pyramids at Giza. The construction of the pyramids was not only a practical engineering project but also a profoundly spiritual endeavor. Pyramids were the tombs of Egyptian royalty. The mummies of pharaohs like Djoser, Khafre, and Menkaure were placed in underground burial chambers beneath pyramids there, while that of Khufu was placed above ground in the king's chamber, an act that was never repeated again. The pyramid was a monument to the king's role as an intermediary between the gods and humanity and was essential for ensuring the pharaoh's safe journey to the afterlife. Workers saw their labor as contributing to the cosmic order, or Mat, which ensured the continuation of the world. In 1954, 2 boat pits containing the Khufu ships were discovered buried at the south foot of the pyramid. The cartouche of his son Jedefre was found on many of the blocks in the boat pits, suggesting that as the successor and eldest son of Khufu, Jedefre completed the Great Pyramid project. Another find associated with the building of the Great Pyramid was discovered in 2013. The Diary of Mera was found at Wadi al-Jarf, a long-abandoned harbor on the Red Sea. The scrolls document the transportation of white limestone blocks from Tura to the Great Pyramid, which is mentioned using its original name, the Akhet of Khufu, and proves conclusively the king's half-brother Ankaf was in charge of the project. Conclusions. The construction of the Giza pyramids remains one of human history's most awe-inspiring achievements. The Egyptians built structures that have lasted millennia through innovative engineering, a dedicated workforce, and carefully sourced resources. While some of the finer details of their construction methods remain hotly debated, there is no question that the pyramids reflect the extraordinary organizational and technical abilities of the ancient Egyptian civilization, which was rich and complex. Thank you so much for watching this video on the incredible construction of the pyramids at Giza. Hope you enjoyed learning about the fascinating engineering, the workforce behind it, and the incredible methods the ancient Egyptians used. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. For more in-depth essays and articles about ancient Egypt, you can check out my Substack page. The link is in the description below. Your support means a lot and helps me continue to bring you more content about the wonders of ancient Egypt. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next video.